Hi, my name is Will Nunziata, and I'm a New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film, and I'm also a proud FENIX Global Artist Ambassador. Today, I am so excited to be speaking with the Executive Director of ArtServe, the Broward County-based arts organization. His name, Jason Hughes. For more on Jason, you can read more about him right below this video, but in the meantime, here is my interview with the amazing Jason. Well, hello, Jason, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you, Will?
I'm great, thank you. And thank you so much for speaking with me today. My goodness, you are incredibly accomplished within the landscapes of sales, marketing, fundraising, public relations, content creation across all media. You're incredible. I want to know though, first, Jason, where you grew up?
That's a complicated question. I was born in Canada. I was born in Canada. When I was 5 years old, we moved to Columbia, South Carolina, later Atlanta, Georgia. My dad his business was going into companies, turning them around, and then leave. We went back to Toronto when I was 12, lived there until I was 18, went to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. After university, I went to New York City, then moved to Toronto again, spent about 10 years in Toronto, Vancouver, British Columbia, back to Toronto, and then Doug Evans recruited me to help start classical South Florida radio here in South Florida. So where am I from? I don't know. I have many different homes, and I think that experience, at first as a young kid, you kind of don't like it. You're being moved around all the time. I think it really shaped who I am. It allowed me to introduce myself to different people. It allowed me to learn not to be shy. Going into a new class, a new job, a new city, learning new people, finding new friends, finding new colleagues, new peer groups. So I think that experience really helped shape where I am. This is the longest I've ever lived in one place. So
wow, that's amazing. And it not only makes me think about you not being, forced to kind of just thrust yourself into situations without overthinking or being shy. It makes me think about all of the opportunities that you've created for yourself and also, for the greater good. I would love to know a little bit about two of your projects first. Sure. Your time at Fresh Magazine and then also at Out TV.
Sure, yeah, Fresh Magazine. I started it, I was 26 years old, and my salary, my age was starting to eclipse my salary. And I worked for a large public radio station, a commercial radio station in Toronto. And, I come around all these amazing young talented people. And I guess you could call me, I'm a Gen Xer. I'm kind of on the cusp. I feel more like a millennial, but whatever. And I just saw these young people out there that were pitching stories, pitching their photographs, their paintings, their art, and the big corporations weren't covering it. We're even getting back to them at all. So I just had this idea to start this magazine, and everyone told me you couldn't do it. And I just said, nope, I'm going to do it. And so our first issue was profitable. It was 100 pages, perfect bound, national magazine. My idea was, the internet was kind of really coming on board right now, and everyone's like, no one's going to read a magazine. No one needs magazines anymore. Well, what do you do when you go to your buddy's loft and there's going to be nothing on the table? No, people still want to pick up something. They want to feel it and touch it. And that's also how you sell advertising. And this was over 20 years ago. And I still to this day still say magazines are important and relevant. So that's how that magazine started. I involved photographers, writers, editors, artists, all different types of people, salespeople. So I created a sales force. So that's that. So Without TV, originally it was called PrideVision TV. And I was recruited to start that right after I sold the magazine. And it was this new national network in Canada that was, it was called Must Carry, which means it had to be carried by every cable company in Canada, as long as you had a digital box. Back then, nobody had digital boxes. So we started the station. We had about 60 employees, and it was great. We created our own programming. Some of it we repurposed. And then 4 days later, we launched on September 9th, and then 2 days later, 9/11 happened. And so nobody watched ATV, never mind any other channel, but CNN at the time,
Yeah.
So it was very, very, very tough. So literally what happened, a lot of the people were let go. I stayed on, so I was the director of sales. Then I became the director of sales and marketing. And then I became co-program director because we launched another station, an alternative station, if you will, I'll just say. So I did a lot of programming. So it was a small team, but it was great. We went to all the prides across Canada, all the day ski weeks, just Toronto is the hub of the gay community in Canada, and we had a broadcast studio there as well. The interesting thing about PrideVision TV is that we were owned and ran out of the same studios as The Score. The Score is like ESPN in Canada.
Oh, wow.
So you have a gay station here. And
talk about the
sports station
dichotomy.
here,
I love that.
and we shared the same studio space. So I recall a story where for World AIDS Day, I had B. Arthur from Golden Girls come in and do a stand-up, a spot for World AIDS Day. And we had to kick out the evening sports show to have B. Arthur come in. And those guys were more interested in B. Arthur being in the studio than the Toronto Blue Jays score that night. So it was a really cool experience.
I absolutely love that. And I want to know, how it buoyed into eventually your time now as executive director of ArtServe.
Can you say the first part, please?
How it buoyed into eventually your executive directorship at ArtServe.
Yeah, well, I think, ArtServe were bookended by two national museums, Stonewall, which is the gay LGBT archives, and then WHAM, the World AIDS Museum. So I don't think of any of the jobs I've ever done has been about being gay. It just happens to be LGBT people are all around the world and involved in business and the creative arts everywhere. I think here at ArtServe, it allows me the opportunity to work with visual artists, performing arts artists, dealing with museums. We do a lot of rentals here, so we have fashion shows come in here. We have plays, we have dramas, we have church services. Right now, painting classes are going on, all different walks of life. So I think, like with my magazine, that's what we try to do is bring the country together into one magazine. I think for ArtServe, what I tell everybody here is this is an open, safe space for everybody here in the community. I don't care where you're from, who you are, we're all the same when you walk in these doors. So I think all that experience kind of pulls it together for me.
Well, that's honestly why I asked it, because I'm thinking about all of these tools that you just naturally gain throughout your whole life. I mean, granted, from moving around as a kid, having to kind of not be shy, kind of go out there and just kind of, put yourself out there. And plus, you're a creative person of the planet who also probably, through not even thinking much about it, also being such an amazing role model for those, in the LGBTQI community, because again, like you said, everything happens in some way, shape, or form to be somewhat a part of the mission of, the LGBTQI, making it so that in just showing and not telling that you're a human being, and we should all be able to live and work in a safe space. And now you're able to do that throughout a cross section of different artistic mediums and people, and I think that's incredible and admirable.
Thank you. I come to work every morning not as a gay man. I come to work as a man. But for youth who I do see here that do know I have a husband, do know I may be gay or am gay, and that gives them a little idea that hey, I can do that too. I can do that too. You'd be surprised how many people out there, we think everything's fine here and now, like people are accepted and married. No. There's a lot more work to do. And that's why I'm proud of ArtServe. I'm proud of what we do.
Jason, you are on the front lines, whether you know it or not, and you are doing it so beautifully. And I'm so grateful that I've gotten to know you just in my research of you throughout these past few weeks and this conversation. I'm grateful for your time because you're a busy man, but thank you so much. And next time I'm in South Florida, I can't wait to come and say hi.
That would be awesome. You're welcome here anytime.
Thank you, Jason. Have a great one.
You as well. Take care.
Artists and bands struggle to make a living. In fact, only a small number of artists can live off their craft. For the 98% of artists that don't have the luxury of being signed to a label, it's tough. But artists deserve to live off their art. Wherever you are around the world, appreciation of music does not change. FENIX brings bands and their fans together, whilst allowing bands to properly monetize their passion. The FENIX app will directly connect bands and fans with no need for middlemen. We're utilizing the blockchain to give the power back to the artist once and for all. Join FENIX, join the change.